right, lead heads. Welcome back to the Talking Lead Show, episode 219. Hope you guys enjoyed last week's episode where we were continuing our coverage of the 24th, I don't know, is it annual? Biennial. Biennial. Not annual.
Biennial. 24th National Conference, yes, sir.
So you have it every other year.
Yep.
Joining me today, Leadheads, is the Vice President of Member Benefits.
Yes, thank you. You got that before I did.
Billy Bob Hempstead.
Thank you. Nice to be back.
Of course, your middle name's not Bob.
No.
It is for this purpose.
That works. Yeah, right. I'm good with it.
Check that episode out. That was actually the final episode of our series. It was great interviews that we had with some attendees there. We had the Livingston Federal guys.
Mm-hmm. First tactical.
I gotta be honest with you, I was expecting a really boring interview with those guys, but it turned out to probably be one of my favorite interviews of the whole conference.
Yeah, there's nothing boring about Glenn or Mike. Those guys are rock solid. They're
right.
Awesome.
Right, so we got into talking about their backgrounds, where Glenn was a mechanical engineer,
mm-hmm.
and with that background, some of his previous careers included a job that he had with a manufacturer of Gatling guns. We got to talk about Gatling guns. He's got a wide variety of information dealing with those, so that was a good time. And then with Matthew, he does a lot of safari hunting over in Africa. So we got to talk about some cool hunts that he was on. So that was a great interview. Lots of other interviews that we did also over the past few episodes. So make sure you guys go back and check those out. And if you haven't checked out FLEOA, go to their website. It's fleoa.org, and that's the Federal Law Enforcement Officers Association. And see how you guys can take part and help donate. Do you guys have donation?
To the FLEOA Foundation, yes. They're currently looking for such for individuals down in Texas and Florida, our members who got just their houses wiped out and everything like that.
Okay. So and I know that you guys have a fund set up for officers that were killed in the line of duty as well.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's awesome that you guys do that.
Yeah. Take care of our own.
Thank you for that.
Thank you.
But this week we had a large week. Bill flew down from Michigan, and I mean he could have just flown on down to Florida and we could have met down there, but no, he, being the bud that he is, he flew into Nashville and did the whole trip with me.
Oh yeah, you can't leave a brother behind.
Big 3 East down in Daytona Beach, Florida. And then we tracked back up to Georgia, Martin, Georgia, for it's the 5th annual Iraqveteran8888888888 YouTube shoot. Range Day. We've got interviews from the Big 3 East that we're going to be dropping for you guys over the next few episodes. We got a lot of great episodes coming from that, a lot of great interviews. But Bill, let's talk about our road trip.
It was a great road trip.
A little bit. So you roll in, Monday?
Monday night, yeah.
Flying Monday night. I go pick you up at the airport. We head out early the next morning.
For a long drive.
It's like, 9 hours?
9-something hours, yeah.
9.5 hour drive down to Daytona for the Big 3 East. And weather forecasts were looking
unpleasant.
Sketchy. Looking sketchy. We got all it's hurricane season. Got all those hurricanes coming up. But we got down there. The first day was gorgeous.
Yeah, it was a good day.
Had a great day. Got a lot of companies to give, their interviews.
Mm-hmm.
Not interviews, what do they do? What do they call those?
Briefings.
They're briefings. So the briefings, telling about, who they are, what they do. And then we go out the range and then we, get to shoot and do interviews with the individual companies that are there one-on-one time.
Mm-hmm.
It was great for me because so CJ hooked me up.
He did.
So you guys, if you listened to the show last year when we covered it, it was a nice room. I mean, I wasn't complaining by any means. I thought it was, kind of funny, but it was like the room where everybody had to go to the bathroom. That's where the bathroom was. And they had to go right by us to go to the shitter.
Yep.
So constant flow of people coming, in and out. And at times we had air conditioning. Other times we didn't have air conditioning in that room. Sometimes it was hot as balls. And he got another building that was dedicated just for the lead quarters for this. Full blasting, just ice cold AC blowing 24 hours a day.
That was nice.
It was really nice. So I got no complaints. I mean, it had a refrigerator, stove. I mean, this is something he's turning into a new building. As you guys know, they're constantly updating and upgrading their facilities down there at the Big 3 East Training Center. And this is one of the buildings that they're going to turn into the trainer's room where they stay and have their meetings and whatnot. So, but he said that he's going to dedicate that to the lead quarters for when we come down to Big 3 East now.
Soon to be called Lefties.
Soon to be. Well, he's putting a bar in it. He's he's putting tile on the floors. I mean, he's redoing the whole thing. It's going to be really nice when he gets it done. So, I mean, it was a work in progress while we were there, but I was more than ecstatic to be able to have that and honored. So I appreciate you setting me up, CJ. It was a good time, and we got a lot of great interviews. Made it more comfortable for the guest as well. But companies like Medieval Industries, they've got a cool little twist on the handguard.
Yeah.
That you guys probably have never seen. So we're going to be talking with Medieval. We got interviews with them coming up. Tactical RX. We've had Brett on the show before. They make those awesome eyewear that they do prescriptions for. So you get Eye Pro that's to your prescription. Makes it really nice, and they can do all kinds of different. I know everybody's got crazy eyes and crazy prescriptions, but they can do pretty much all of those.
Yeah, that's one I'm going to definitely have to reach out to Brett on.
Yeah. SGM Tactical was there. And what those guys are doing is they're OEM guys, and they've got Glock barrels. I think he said they're doing Smith & Wesson also. I'm not sure. But Glock, definitely. Glock barrels. And they hooked me up with a cool Glock barrel for my Gen 4. I've got a Gen 4 19 now. You guys are hearing me talk more and more about 9mm for the Glock. I'm still rocking my 23. Still got my 23 as my personal carry, but I do enjoy other calibers and, other brands of handguns as well. But I did get one of their barrels. It's a threaded barrel. Obviously, the point in what they're doing is trying to make the rifling and everything more accurate, make the barrels more accurate. So they took it out, tested it, works good. It actually fit in the Gen 5 also.
Oh, did it?
Yeah.
I didn't see you do that.
Yeah, fit in the Gen 5, and they've cycled a couple of mags through it and worked fine. Got the threaded barrel, so I'll be able to suppress it. So I'll be testing that out coming up. Interviews, I mean, there are all kinds of companies there. Modern Spartan Systems made it down. This is their first time down there. Brought Charlie Melton with them. And Charlie Melton was on a couple of episodes back with Brady Speth of Ride On USA, our official optics sponsor. And we were doing our second class on optics and scope education. We're going to have Charlie on again this week sometime. I'm going to do the actual interview, but Charlie just set the world record longest sniper shot and over 5,000 yards. So that was awesome. We're going to have Charlie on to talk about that. Not this episode, but in the next couple of episodes, we're going to have Charlie on and talk about the conditions, the equipment that he was using, what he did to prep for that. But he's been using Modern Spartan Systems for his barrel conditioning to get even more accuracy out of his already amazingly accurate rifles. So how could he get even any more precise? Well, he'll tell you.
Yeah.
So we got that. Modern Spartan Systems was there. Obviously, Glock was there. Palmetto State Armory was there.
Eagle Imports. High Threat Concealment.
Of course, when all those companies are there in the same area as a Lefty is, what happens? 4 Richards and a Ralph.
Did she call in for that? Were you guys
Ralph didn't make it. So it was actually 4 Richards and another Richard.
Oh, okay.
So we'll have our annual or our biannual. We typically will do biannual 4 Richards and a Ralph interview, and it's a good one this year. Who else was there? WMD Weapons or Guns. WMD Guns was there, and they had a 6.5 Creedmoor. A new 6.5 Creedmoor that they're going to get ready to release, and it's nickel boron coated, completely nickel boron coated. Very light, very accurate. We both got to shoot that.
That was a lot of fun.
It was. It was good because it was the last day, and we had some rain. It turned
some rain.
One day we had a lot of rain that made the roads really bad. So we had to get people towed out of the mud, and the next day was questionable, but they figured it out, and we got a little taxi system with a couple of Jeeps that were set up to handle the mud pretty well. And you and I got pretty much the sniper tower out to ourselves.
Yeah, we did for a couple hours, I think.
A couple hours. Got a lot of trigger time on that 6.5 Creedmoor, and also the 308 with the ride-on 5x25, 5x56, I think it is, scope. Gearhead Works.
Ooh, yeah.
Gearhead Works, they're making an awesome brace adapter. Well, it's actually a new brace. It's a whole new brace concept. So for your pistol ARs,
Scorpions.
It's a very minimalist, Scorpions, Uzis, even your SBRs. I mean, this is a good product for that. So we're going to have them on to talk about their tailhook product. Geisley Triggers was there. Yep. So I got a good interview with Diego from Geisley Triggers. We're going to be talking about that. They hooked me up with a couple of AK triggers for when I ever get my AKs back from either Palmetto or Kalashnikov. But that brings me to another thing.
What's that?
So the AK corner that I've been talking about, been working on for the past year to try to get something worked out with the AK corner. Looks like that's going to happen starting in November, Leadheads. The AK corner, Talking Lead AK corner. Not going to tell you who's involved with that just yet, but we did get some things ironed out at Big 3 East for that. So I was looking 99.9% that's going to happen. So what we're going to do is probably twice a month have a segment on the show to where we're educating me, really. I mean, the show's about me. Let's just admit it. But no, you lead heads too. I know there are a lot of people out there that are interested in the AK rifles and the history behind those and learning more about the different variants and the mechanics of the AK. So we're going to have experts on to educate us every month, twice a month.
Twice a month.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that as well. I shot my first AK, cherry popped on that weapon system.
Yeah. Which one? Who did you shoot?
Palmetto States.
Shot theirs, and what did you think about it? Did they have a full auto?
I shot the full auto once the range opened up. Yeah. Of course, I had no clue how the hell to load it, so Adam had to help me out with that. So,
well, it's easy once
once I get the mechanics down. Yeah.
You just rock it in, and yeah.
Yeah, no idea. So that was nice.
That's good. So, what did you think about it versus an AR? You down with it?
I'm down with it. Bigger thump, but it was a full auto, so I haven't shot many.
Yeah, you didn't do the semi-auto?
No, I did not.
Yeah.
But very nice. Hitting where I shot it, so.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, no complaints.
I mean, that's all you can ask for, I would guess. Yes. So that's coming up. We had RS Regulate on the show. They're modern mounting solutions for the Kalashnikov rifle. They have some handguards that are railed that fit on different AK and AK-type rifles. And I didn't get to shoot them at Big 3, and I didn't get to get these guys on, but there's somebody that we're going to be getting on during our series here. So we'll be getting Scott on, kind of like we're doing with you, Bill, and do like a pre-show kickoff and talk about their products.
Maxim with Jose and Michael.
And Michael, yes, yeah. Maxim with Jose and Michael. Maxim Defense,
yeah, with their little PDW buttstock.
Yeah, and they're coming out with some rifles as well. But they were there with their brand ambassadors, Dave Boone Benton and Chris Tonto Peranto. And those are the guys that if you've seen the movie 13 Hours, the Benghazi incident, it's a couple of the guys that were involved with that. Just super, super great guys. And we don't actually get into their, into the Benghazi stuff. They've got a training company that they've started. So we're talking about that a little bit and their relationship with Maxim Firearms. And they're going to be holding classes down there at the Big 3 East Training Center.
Wasn't that the next day after we left?
Well, that was one they were going to do, but that's going to be like one of their main places where they hold classes around the United States.
Okay, gotcha.
So for people that are in that area or want to travel down to Daytona Beach, Florida to do some training with some guys who know what the hell they're doing, then check their schedule out. We're going to have them on. So that was another good interview. appreciate them for taking the time to be on. But we are going to get them back on. And Chris said that, he'd be more than happy to come on and just, do a show about, him and what's been going on with him. So
cool.
Again, I don't like to get into stuff people don't like to talk about, and I'm sure he's talked to death over the Benghazi,
Oh, God, I can only imagine.
Incident. But, it'll be a good conversation. We'll just do my normal, talking and see where it leads, what we find out. So that'll be good. Man, I don't know. There's a lot. There's a lot of interviews coming up. Another company we've not had on before that we're going to have on to talk about their stuff is Mission First Tactical. We had David from there. He's vice president, and that was a good interview with David. They're the guys who do the minimalist buttstock? What's it called? Does they call it the minimalist?
I think so. I can't remember that.
Yeah, they make the real lightweight buttstock, and there's other things that they make as well. So all those companies and a lot more from the Big Three East. And I didn't do any interviews at the IV88888888. There's just really not anywhere for me to set up there to do my thing. And I mean, that range is going constantly.
Oh, no. Stop.
Yeah, from start to finish. They'll have a little break to reset the targets, from time to time. But that's, it's not really a good place for me to do interviews. But I did make some contacts there. So for some interviews that we're going to have in the near future. And one I'm really excited about is met the guys from Optics Planet, which everybody's heard of Optics Planet. I mean, they sell every kind of firearms and outdoor accessory out under the sun.
Thermals, NVGs.
Yeah, they don't just do optics. They do everything pretty much. So going to talk to those guys. There's a company called Riker that has come out with a new, again, another handguard, another twist on the handguard product accessory for your AR. And it's pretty interesting.
It is.
I
liked it.
I kind of got mixed feelings about it right now, but it's one of those things that the more I use it, I might, it might warm up to me, but there were people there and I could see how some people would be drawn to this immediately.
Yeah, I was.
I can see people that would definitely do that, but we're going to try to get those guys on. We'll talk about their product. And then Wilder Tactical.
Oh, are those? Yep. That's what it is. They make those mag pouches.
So Wilder Tactical, they've got a twist on your mag pouch. Basically, I mean, read what it says there. He's got it pulled up, but we might get these guys on and talk about this too.
Yeah, it's an injection molded mag pouch with kind of like bungee elastic straps holding the two pieces together, but one magazine carrier for pistol calibers will fit multiple caliber magazines.
Yeah, so you put single stacks in this, you put double stacks in this. It basically one mag carrier for different types and sizes of magazines. Same thing for the AR, AK magazines. It's a very
simplistic.
So it's a very simple design. I'll just say it's a very simple design, but it seems to be effective. So we're going to try those out. We've got a couple of those to try out, and then we'll get these guys on the show and talk about it. And then Premier Body Armor, Jason Mamano, and you guys may know Jason from the Big Daddy Hoffman YouTube channel. So he's one of the guys behind that channel. And Big Daddy Hoffman was there, so we got to talk to him a little bit, and we'll be getting him back on the show too. I'd love to get his take on all what's going on in our nation right now with the massacre that happened in Las Vegas. See if he'd be willing to talk about that, get his take on it. What we're seeing right now from that, the fallout, is they seem to be attacking the bump stocks. I haven't heard anything definitively other than just from the media. I mean, yes, they were in the room, but I don't know, and there may be out there right now. I don't know. If it is, you guys got a link, send me the link. But I've not seen anything to where police are saying that was what was on the rifles that he used for the crowd.
Nor have I.
The crowd shooting. So, or if there was if he'd done some sort of a modification, a modified sear or something, on some rifles too. If there were more than one device that he used to rapid fire a semi-automatic rifle, which again, and you got to watch the media. They're calling some of them are slipping up and calling that he used full auto rifles. He did not use full auto rifles that I've heard come out yet.
Same.
But they're calling them full auto rifles that he used, and they weren't. They're semi-automatic rifles that had adapters or had been modified some way by him to shoot more rapidly.
Right.
So that's, obviously something that's going to be big news from here until, months, maybe even years to come.
Mm-hmm.
And we got to stay on our guard as 2A proponents. You give an inch, you give a mile to these guys. It's not the fact, that this device may or may not need to be banned. It's the fact that to begin with, it was ATF approved. It was designed to shoot the way that semi-automatics are designed to shoot. It just does it in a more rapid way. So, I don't know. It's going to be a nightmare coming up, but we have to be diligent, vigilant, and can't give in to the gun grabbers and these politicians. A lot of them are just wanting to do something to make people feel good, because a lot of people are hurting right now, and they want answers and they demand action. You can't act against a madman. Somebody who's going to commit a horrendous crime, they're dead set on doing it. It's impossible to stop them from doing that by any means. You take one method away from them, they'll find another method to do it. It's crazy. And you can't say much about it, can you?
Nope.
You're not going to, are you?
Nope.
Dickhead.
Dude, sorry. Other than that, now the prices of bump stocks have gone up exponentially.
The price of the bump stocks we just checked them beforehand. There are some at 1,000 right now. Didn't have any bids yet, but there's one that was like 700 something that had 16 bids on it. We're looking at gunbroker.com.
Yeah.
Don't fall into this panic buying either. Don't go and start rushing and buying these freaking bump stocks. You didn't want one to begin with. You had no use for one to begin with. I've shot them before. They were a novelty, at the range. Like, that's kind of cool, but I never wanted one. Never had a desire to have one.
Yeah, same here. I've never shot one.
But I thought it was okay. I was like, I just don't see the purpose, because you're not accurate with them, for one. And that's the whole thing with fully automatic rifles. Even the military, the full auto, it's used for suppressing fire. It's not used for accurate shooting, by any means. And that's another thing too, is that they're saying that full auto firearms are banned. That's not true. Full auto firearms are not banned. There's certain licensings that you have to be able to own those as a civilian. But yes, civilians can own those, and they are not banned. Just again, be mindful of the words that the media are using. And when you see inaccurate use of terms or words or descriptions of firearms or accessories used, make sure that people that are around you that don't know or aren't educated understand that they are inaccurately reporting this stuff. That's all I'm going to say about that for now. So what I am going to talk about is I'm going to give a big thanks to all the Talking Lead sponsors. So make sure you guys support those who support this show. Without them, we wouldn't be able to bring you all the cool people, companies, products that we're able to talk about on this show, and also offer you guys discounts on. So go give some love to these people we're getting ready to talk to you about, and don't fast forward over this. Right On USA, the official optics of Talking Lead. And I took those with me on the trip. I took the binoculars, and I took a couple of their scopes. I took the micro red dot with the 3X magnifier. And again, bar none, people that I put those binoculars, put them behind, they were the first words out of their mouth was like, holy shit.
Yeah, I heard that frequently.
It's like, holy shit, these things are crystal clear. And that's just their binoculars. All their scopes are the same way.
Yeah, that 308, that big one you have in the 308. Oh my God, that was nice.
Yeah, the 5x25, you and I got to go out to a 900. They had a range out there for 900 on that, and we were throwing them out there pretty good.
Scared the hell out of the cranes.
Yeah. Put a couple of warning shots over a couple of cranes that were out there on the range, but we weren't aiming at them.
Nope.
By any means. We had it doped in and knew where it was going to go. So, yeah, the red dot with the 3X magnifier, really, really great gun for your PCCs. A lot of people are getting into the PCCs, and especially the competition shooters. That's a good little setup they've got right there with their 3X magnifier and their micro red dot. So they've got their new Mod 7, which is their top of the line, highest quality. They're using the best parts, and the majority of that's being manufactured in the US on those. That's how they're able to get you cheaper prices on some of these scopes. And, Brady's completely honest about that. They use parts from around the world, like their glass. All their glass is from Japan. They're using the highest quality glass on all their optics, so you can get that crystal clear clarity that you're getting. But their new RTS Mod 7 1:5x24 IR is their newest offering there, so you guys go check that out. With a price of $750. Comparatively speaking, you go out and look at other people's. That's a heck of a value there. And then, of course, if you use the Talking Lead discount code, Leadhead, you're going to get 20% off that.
It's a hell of a deal.
And if you're military, law enforcement, he gives you 40% off. You just gotta show him your creds, so you show those and, you guys are going to get 40% off that. So just some new stuff coming from Ride-On that you guys can check out. And then, of course, they're still working on their spotting scope, which should be out soon. I think before the end of the year, they're going to have that ready to go, rock and roll. Modern Spartan Systems. Optimize your firearms with Modern Spartan Systems accuracy oil. We talked about that a little bit earlier. Charlie Melton's been using that. But not only do they do the firearm products, they do products for your vehicle, which Bill can attest because he rode with me what we did.
About 2,000 miles together.
Yeah, close to 2,000 miles this week. Down to Florida and back, and some little pit stops here and there along the way.
And a unique route through Georgia back here.
Right. So I'm using the TVT engine oil additive in the old Leadsled, which we tripped over 310,000 miles on this trip. Mm-hmm. And I put it to work too, because that mud, the Leadsled made it through that mud where other people were getting stuck and couldn't get out of it. The old Leadsled, not a problem. And I didn't even put it in 4-wheel drive.
No, I still can't believe you got out of that.
And there were some 4-wheel drives that were getting jacked up in that stuff. But I think that's due to the driver too,
yeah,
a little bit.
Skill.
If you ain't first, you're last, baby.
First or last, baby,
But yeah, so you put a little bit in your oil with your oil changes, and put a little bit in the gas. I was getting some knocks and pings on the way up here,
mm-hmm.
and I put the TVT in that. And I forgot to bring it with me because I was going to add it when we did our first fill up. But Marcus had some down there while we were down there, and I got some, put it in, and on the way back there were
nothing.
Knocks
as soon
and
as
pings.
you put it in, 20 miles down the road, all the knocks and pings were gone.
Immediately it was gone.
Yeah.
I didn't hear anything. So check them out, modernspartansystems.com, and again, use the code LEADHEAD for discounts there. 1776 United. I want to talk about that because the Survey Monkey is up and ready to go, Leadheads. So go check our social media, go check our website, and vote on the new logo for you Leadheads. So we're going to do a new line of T-shirts, patches. We might do some other stuff with the logo. We might actually use all these logos at some point in time because they're all badass. But James released that this past weekend, and it's up and running, like I said. So we want you guys to go vote. Go vote for the next Talking Lead T-shirt and patch. 3 great designs. You got 3 great designs to choose from. So make sure you guys check that out. Frontier Tactical, the makers of the Warlock, the multiple caliber adapter where you can shoot up to 90 different calibers from one AR-15 platform. Just requires after you install their system, depending on what caliber you put in, just a quick turn, twist, pop it off, pop on the new barrel, and a mag change and a bolt change if necessary. FrontierTactical.com, check them out. Got to see Nate down there. He was at Big 3 East for a few hours. Yeah. He wasn't there long, but he came down. Glock, the official carry of Lefty of Talking Lead. You guys check them out at us.glock.com. And they've got some stuff coming up. I mean, they just released the Gen 5, but they're telling us they've got some more stuff coming that's going to be pretty cool. So can't wait to hear what they're going to be bringing to us. Hopefully we'll get the SHOT Show. Usually people wait till SHOT Show for stuff like that. So High Threat Concealment.
Yes. Oh, yes.
HTC. They were down there at Big 3. It was good to see Adam and Sarah and
Meredith.
It's good times with those guys. We had them on the show a couple episodes ago, so make sure you guys go back, check them out, because they were at the Fleoa event also.
Correct.
Talking about all their new mag pouches and belts that they've got out available for you guys, for you lead heads. And using the discount code LEADHEAD, you guys are going to get 15% off when you go to HTC and purchase your products there. So, X Steel Targets.
X Steel Targets.
The best, most affordable AR 500 steel targets on the market today. Bud over there, Bud Sanson, he can set you up with any kind of target that you want. They've got a wide variety on their website, but if you see something there that doesn't meet your needs, he can custom make one for you. They've got the Texas Stars, they've got the dueling trees, they've got harvest targets, so in the shape of different animals. They've got hostage targets, so go check them out. If you're a competitive shooter, you're law enforcement, military, you're just Joe Schmo out on the farm like me, just like to set up targets and go out and shoot, or for training. I mean, they're perfect for that as well. Long range, definitely. Perfect for long range. But check them out, xsteeltargets.com. And again, discount code LEADHEAD. You're going to get a nice discount there. So, I know Bill's got to catch a plane to get out of here. We're going to go ahead and roll into our interviews from the Big Three East. But before we do, Bill, you got any parting words?
Had a great time. Thanks for the invite down.
Always,
Look
man.
forward
Anytime.
to working with the Fleoa members and the companies to help those guys out, do their jobs better.
I know you made a lot of good connections during this trip. So.
Absolutely. Thank you.
So hopefully,
Greatly appreciate it.
Hopefully you'll be adding to the membership list.
I hope so.
As we are proud to be corporate sponsors of
Yes.
Fleoa as well. We appreciate the opportunity and letting us do that for you guys.
Oh, my
And
honor.
We're here for you, anything you need.
No, thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Greatly appreciate you getting me down there for these.
Absolutely, man. All right, lead heads, we are back with the Talking Lead Show, and we are on location in, is this Daytona or DeLand, CJ?
D-Land.
We're in DeLand, Florida at none other than the Big Three East Media Event Fall Edition. Right? Or can we call it autumn? Autumn or fall?
Might as well call it hurricane.
Hurricane season? Tropical storms this year. We got lucky. We didn't get hit with the hurricanes this year. So
We got 40 inches of rain in 2 days.
holy crap, was it that much?
It was that much.
It was that much. So it still turned out nice. We still were able to get to the range and everybody presented, right? Everybody got their presentations in.
Yeah, we got all the companies in. All the writers did it. I got a lot of good articles out on social media now.
Yeah, and more coming.
There'll be a lot more coming. There's some exciting new products that were released during the event.
Right. So this is actually the last day, but I'm going to pretend like it's the first day. So we actually just wrapped it up, doing our final interview of the event. And we've got our good buddy Andre here joining us as well.
Hey, thank you.
No stranger to the lead heads. Andre, you look worn out, tired.
It's great to be here. It's just nice to be in air conditioning, nice to be mostly dry because it's been wet here.
It has been, but today's been nice.
Oh, this has been amazingly
I'm glad
nice.
we worked out the shuttle thing from the road to be able to get back here. So that worked out good. But CJ has a guest with us, joining us. I'm going to let CJ introduce our guest, new to the show, never been on the Talking Lead podcast.
We're always looking for new voices and new outlets for the media side of the house, or Big Three, so we can help expand. And through social media, I was able to bump into some of Heather's posts and stuff that she has. Heather Edlander.
Heather Edlander.
Heather Edlander, not Ned Flander.
Not Ned Flanders.
She's a very talented writer, and a lot of her posts and stuff that she did. And when I found out she moved to the States from Hawaii, I wanted to contact her and invite her down.
Shit. Hawaii.
Yes.
Okay.
Oahu.
So I wanted to invite her down to the event and see if she would fit in and stuff. We talked on the phone a couple of times, and she seemed like a perfect fit. And we brought her down, and she hit it off with the staff that we already have down here. She's working really well on social media. The other stuff's got it. The companies work with her. So we went ahead and brought her on as a full participant to work underneath the Big Three East Media website, our web magazine that Andre is the editor of. And so we brought her on board, and now we've got some excited stuff for her to be able to do to get her some cash and to be able to promote some products.
Congratulations, Heather.
Thank you.
And welcome to the family of the Big Three East Media Group. So, couldn't have a better mentor here. I don't know if he's going to be mentoring you or not, but Andre is one of the best.
Well,
the best.
With Heather's background, that it's going to be easy to work with her because she's been places, she's done things, she's a hunter. From Hawaii, obviously.
Is there a lot of hunting
Very cool.
that happens in Hawaii?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah?
There's no frost, no predators, so everything thrives there. So if you don't go in and do some eradication, it's going to take over. So.
Nice. A lot of deer.
Yeah, we've got axis deer on 3 of the islands, and you've got pigs on every island, and mouflon sheep, which are like bighorn sheep, wild goats, deer, everything.
That's pretty
So-
mountainous out there sometimes.
So what
Yeah.
is your background? Can you talk about your background?
Sure.
Or you secret squirrel?
For about the past decade, I've been a defense contractor and working in different capacities with that. So all kinds of different things that I could tell you, but,
Classified.
that's right.
Yeah, that kind of stuff. So how many years did you do that?
About 10 years. I've been in the islands for over 20 years and came back to the mainland to check things out. Kind of been on a walkabout, I guess you could say. So
Okay. This ain't Australia. So, how long have you been mainland now?
I've been on the mainland since about May.
Okay, so not long.
Yeah, not too long at all.
So getting your land legs back.
Oh, yeah.
from being
I've
over.
been tearing up my tires, driving all over. It's nice to be able to drive somewhere.
So are you calling Florida your home now?
That's what I'm aiming for.
Okay.
I've been up in North Carolina, and now I'm trying to get down Florida way.
Very
I don't
good.
want a winter after 20 years without a winter.
Well, the tan you've got, is that a leftover from Hawaii?
I think it's permanent.
Oh,
I'm a
geez, it
surfer,
must be.
so it's permanent.
It's built in, huh?
So you got up to the North Shore?
What's that?
You got up to the North Shore and done
Oh,
some
of
surfing up
course.
there?
Of course.
Did you meet Rick Takahashi? Is that Rick Takahashi?
Yeah, it's
Rick Tack. I call him Rick Tack. So.
Spike's a sponsored surfer.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
He's an awesome dude. Yeah. So the Big 3 East Fall Edition. We're here. We're doing it. So what can we expect this year? CJ.
Some of the stuff that was put in Big 3s was Wolf introduced the new 9x39 cartridge that's coming out with it. They're in an agreement working with one of the newer companies that are coming in that we're going to start making in an AR platform for an upper.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, the 300 Blackout was designed to try to copy that round, and it's kind of good, but it doesn't have the power that it has because the 9x39 was designed for Russian Spetsnaz operations under the suppressor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's an awesome round, and Wolf has been researching it for a while, and now they finally started developing the barrels and stuff. So you can look in the near future that you can buy the 9x39 and an AR upper, which it works great with AR mags.
Mm-hmm.
We are bringing it out in we're calling it a help up right now because it's a shorter version with the AR. It's the pistol type. So we'll be bringing it out in that model, and that model will also have a brace adapter where you can attach a brace onto it.
Interesting. So a miniature bullpup, a pistolized bullpup.
No, a pistolized AK-47.
Okay.
And it's a help up is the name.
Okay, so
But
it's not a bullpup design. Gotcha.
It's not a bullpup. It's basically
Okay.
It's an AK with the stock cut off of it and a shorter barrel.
I'm with you. Yeah.
So we're looking at taking that, putting a little bit of a shorter barrel on it, putting a brace on it. So it's an arm brace, so you can still flip it and have a little bit of control whenever you're shooting it with your one hand, not up to your cheek.
Mm-hmm.
So we've got it set up that way, and we're looking at rebranding the name and changing it like Timberwolf or something else because it's going to be built as Wolf's licensed product.
I gotcha.
So we're looking at doing in a sporter type, like the Vepers that come in, in that model, and calling it like a Timberwolf or something which it'll be Wolf's product. They're only Wolf is going to be the only one that has the 9x39. Wolf is going to have the only company that has the ammunition to get it. So it's a big hit for Wolf. The company that's doing it, I happen to be working with also. It's called Pioneer Arms Corporation.
Pioneer Arms Corporation. Where are they out of?
They have 2 large factories in Poland, and they wanted to come back into the U.S. in business. And so I am the vice president and director of U.S. operations for Pioneer Arms.
Well, look at there.
So I'm doing some
So you
deals.
got the ammos and you got the rifles.
Got the ammos and the rifles. So we're doing that. We're looking at doing mainly builds for other companies. We will have some that we will sell under our name, but we're trying to build them for other companies that want a good product. Basically, the pistols are 100% made in Poland. They're new guns made from scratch. They're not part kits or anything else. It's all new production.
Mm-hmm.
And they're made on the same foundry machines and stuff that have all been built. Now, we're going to bring in the sporter type rifles with that are qualified, so we don't have to change them, so they can come in as 922. which is what you have to do to change the specs on them.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to bring in some that we're going to change to make like regular AKs instead of sporters with a pistol grip. And then we're going to have to do the 922 change. But instead of going out and buying a Krebs trigger group or somebody else's part for it, we're bringing the original foundry equipment over, our CNC machines, from Poland. So it may not be 100% made in Poland gun,
Mm-hmm.
but it's made 100% the way it was made in Poland.
Gotcha.
We're going to
using the exact same equipment.
Same equipment. And we're going to, we're sending 2 guys over to be master armors. The guns are getting ready to hit the market pretty soon. We're sending 2 guys over to be master armorers. So if there's a problem with the gun, with anything, we're going to take care of it. We have a simple design that sets up on it. Due to legalities, lawyers won't let us put the guns have a lifetime guarantee into the catalog
Mm-hmm.
or the instruction manual. So we're going to put, I think the original catalogs we produced had 12 months in it. And I think the second one's coming out saying 24 months. But what you need to remember with our guns is, if you have a problem with it, as long as I'm at the company, we're going to take care of it. And it's not going to be 6 months.
Yeah.
You get a problem with your gun, we get into our office, we look at it that day, our master armors look at it, and they decide then and there, are we, 1, going to repair it, or are we, 2, going to replace it? And if it's a repair, it has to be done within 24 hours. If it cannot be done within 24 hours, we ship a new gun to their FFL in 24 hours. So that's how we're going to take care of it.
Sounds like a pretty good warranty right there.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I can't tell them it's a lifetime warranty, but I'll take care of you.
There you go. And it's Pioneer Arms.
Pioneer Arms USA, built, 90% of the gun is built in Poland. The pistols are 100% built in Poland. We've got some PM63s, which everybody's excited about getting because there's only 1,600 of them in the world that you can get. And we own them all, and we have them sold. We just don't have them to that particular market yet.
Now, is that something they're going to continue to manufacture after they get rid of those 1,600? Is that it?
Nope, that's it.
1,600.
The dies don't exist anymore.
Oh, okay.
So it's one of those guns that
Bummer.
in the 40s went around, and then when the war broke out in the Balkans, the most of those surplus machine guns and stuff like that all went to kill Serbs or Croats or Bosnians.
Right. And you said you've got them all spoken for right now?
We actually found them in a warehouse and bought them.
You did? You just found them, huh?
Found them, bought them, and there is some stuff that we have to do to make them semi-automatic and not fully automatic.
Yeah.
But there are some that we're keeping as samples that some of the collectors and stuff we're bringing in as samples for them to have. So
Nice.
they won't be completely gone from the world because we're making sure that we're selling X number of samples to people for them to have for their collection.
Yeah.
But the majority of them are going to go ahead and be fixed so they can't be a full auto anymore.
Well, I think you need to clarify exactly what they are so people have an understanding. There was a follow-on to the Popeye Shaw 42. It's a 43. It was essentially made first time in Russia during World War II as a last-ditch weapon. I think it was made either in Stalingrad or Leningrad to defend against the Russians. They didn't have enough
Defending
parts.
against the Germans.
Yeah, the Germans. And they didn't have enough parts to go ahead and make the Popeye Shaw 42, so they made this instead. So it turned out to be an incredibly rugged design, and it uses the same round as the 42.
Okay.
It's a really nice little pistol. I got a chance to shoot on the range, and it is a joy to shoot because it's so soft. It's easy to keep on target, and if you made it into something fully auto, it would be absolutely a great full auto weapon to shoot.
It's a fun gun. It's
just a fun gun.
It's one of the funnest guns in the world to shoot on for auto. It's like an Uzi you can control.
Yeah, it's like shooting a paintball gun. I swear to God.
Did you get to shoot it, Heather?
We don't have them in yet. She got to shot the PPS 44
Okay.
that we have now.
Which one did you shoot?
No, shot what he had.
What he had. I
Yeah.
shot what he had.
Yeah, we had the PPS that's out here, which is 7.62 by 25.
Okay.
And we've got that out there. And, and also we've partnered up with Wolf, and Wolf has, been great as far as sponsoring us for ammo and everything else. We recommend them for all of our guns. And we're trying to do some packages so that, when we sell those guns, because the 7.62 by 25 is kind of hard to find.
Yeah.
That we're trying to set up with the distributor so we can get him cases of ammo. So when he sells the guns to the dealers, they can go ahead and get ammo for it too.
Okay. Let's talk about some of the other companies that we can expect to be here. this week?
Well, Mark LaRue has finally decided that he's going to go back out into business again. He's going to bring a lot of suppressors, some guns, some triggers. Really great guy to work with. Action Targets is coming out, and they have a new target system, and it's actually an infinity target.
Infinity.
It's an infinity target. Basically, what they is they have an infinity target that has Wi-Fi built in.
Okay.
And if you set the next target within 100 yards of that, that Wi-Fi picks up the other Wi-Fi and they track. So it'll register from the 100-yard line all the way out to 1,000 yards, 100 yards at a time. The targets will, because they talk.
To one another.
They talk to one another. So if you shoot,
They're relaying.
the information will relay all back to you. And
Nice.
we got Charlie Mike coming out here.
That's right.
You know,
Charlie Melton.
So we got so Charlie's going to be
Just
out.
did the
Five-
world record 5,000-yard shot with a 408 Tejas.
Did the world record it was 5,029 yards.
Did he do 29? Okay. He
Five
was just
to-
saying 5,000. He's being modest.
He's been modest. 5,029 yards. And for you people that don't know how far that is, that's over 2 miles. And the curvature of the earth, you have to plan that to make that shot. And also the rotation of the earth.
Coriolis
effect. Coriolis effect.
Yeah.
So that one comes in effect.
Cornholio effect.
So he's going to be out here. Of course, Palmetto State, they have a lot of good guns and stuff.
PSA, they've got some new releases. Yeah, they're going to be talking about.
Glock's going to be here with their Gen 5s.
The G5, yeah.
Eagle's got their new Bursa and their Grandmaster that's going to be here.
Yeah.
You have
Medieval
Industries are coming up here with it. You have our RX Tactical Eye guy. You got MTR Holsters. So you have a lot of companies that are coming in.
Got SGM Tactical.
Yeah, SGM Tactical's here.
Mission First.
We got WMD, which we've been trying for a long time. Those guys are here.
I think they're bringing a 6.5 Creedmoor.
6.5 Creedmoor. We have
Nickel boron.
We have Fight Light, who used to be Aries.
Fight Light.
Fight Light. They're
I'm
here.
not familiar with them.
Fight Light is they have the belt-fed AR.
Okay.
So they're right down in Melbourne. They're going to be here. So we have a lot of.
I was expecting a flashlight company when you said that.
Well, we were thinking
Fight Light.
Yeah, but
they're like lightweight Fight Light, right?
Right. Well, it's a light machine gun.
Okay.
They used to be Aries Defense. They changed their name for whatever reason.
That sounds familiar. Aries
well, they
Defense.
make Aries Defense is the same company makes the belt-fed AR.
Okay.
Which is the same company.
It's making the belt-fed AR.
But it's the same company making the belt-fed AR.
Okay.
And we got Troy down. Troy has tons of new products. They've been wanting to get back in the market. Troy works closely with the police departments. He works very closely with the Delta guys. Mm-hmm. He's at Fort Bragg.
Tier 1.
He's at Fort Bragg down at the Green Wrap all the time at the Red Roof Inn. He's down there talking to those guys, helping design new products and everything else. And he's actually coming on board to be one of the sponsors for Big 3 to help supply guns for our classes.
There you go. Very nice.
And he's doing that basically for that. And
isn't he also giving some guns to the local police?
Well, because it's hard to say that a company's. I mean, there's 5,500 SWAT teams with 30 guys on it, and they have to look at their budget on how they're going to help with some pricing and stuff with the SWAT team on the guns, but they're not going to be outright to give it because there's 5,500, large SWAT teams that are going to knock on their door to say, hey, we want our product. And when you're talking NFA guns and $4,500 a piece, it gets quite to be pricey to try to fill out, even a basic 18-man SWAT team. Mm-hmm. So they're going to help with that. But one of the other things that Troy does, which I really like, is, he has a training program for all of his employees and their families.
Nice. And what does he do?
He brings the janitors that work in the office. He brings the training team up there to Massachusetts.
More whiskey.
I'm a Southern boy,
Massachusetts.
so I can't say them fancy Yankee words. But he brings people up to his factory, and 5, 6, or 10 at a time, he releases his employees for the 2 days, and they actually go through a basic firearm and safety class to learn how to shoot his guns and to learn how to gun safety inside of the home for the family.
Nice.
He pays for that for his employees. He pays for the team to come up here and everything else.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
So the janitor and the lady that works inside of the cafeteria up there has shooting skills because she has a working knowledge of the gun. Mm-hmm. And that gets back to one of the things that we talk about Big 3, because Big 3 does concealed carry classes absolutely free. Big 3 does certification classes and stuff for safety in the home, and we do classes for, children 8 to 80 is what we like to say, so that they know how to handle the firearm. And something that's dear to my heart is, regardless of how you feel about a firearm, whether it's you or your spouse or your neighbor, somebody's going to feel different. So your child needs to know how to be safe around a gun.
Absolutely.
And you've met my son, and I have a plethora of guns.
I understand he's going to help me do some little co-hosting.
Oh, not that one.
Oh, the other one. Okay.
The other one has more guns than I do. Shoots anytime he wants to, and he's bored out of it. He does not care about guns. He's into the girl thing now. He does not care about guns. He does not care about shooting, except for every once in a while, because they're not something new to him. He was trained around them. He built this first AR when he was 8.
Right.
But he was trained around them.
It's not that curiosity.
No, it's not. It's nothing alluring to him.
Yeah.
So when he was 10 or 12 years old, the neighbor kid was pulling out his dad's pistol and showing him how great the pistol was. My son took the pistol from the other kid, unloaded it, put it back in the drawer, and told him it wasn't safe.
There you go.
Because he was trained on the right way to do it. And that's one thing that Steve is doing, is he's actually taking his people in that factory and training them, because gun safety, we do sex ed, teaching people what not to do. We do driver's ed. We do drugs education.
All right.
When I went to school, we had a shooting team. I'm sure you had one too, Heather.
Actually not, believe it or not, for Kansas, no.
Oh, you were
Not in Kansas.
I figured in the Midwest that you guys would have had one out there. I know Andre had one.
Oh, yeah.
But we had a shooting team where we would shoot 22s and ROTC, and we would send our targets to other places, and we would go out and shoot 308 matches and stuff with the National Guard rounds. So we were taught on how to shoot guns and to be safety with it. And part of the stuff that we had in the school curriculum was you had to go through a firearm safety class. And we didn't have all the crazy stuff going on now, because there isn't that allure. Kids that pick up stuff and want to play with it is because it's new and unusual to them.
Yeah.
How many times do you see a kid walk into a house and grab a remote and start chasing their friend around with it to the TV?
All the time.
Yeah, I mean, it just doesn't happen. So
all the time.
But Steve Troy has really stepped up as far as taking care of his company. He stepped up as far as helping develop training programs. And he has unofficially stepped up and started working with a lot of law enforcement military agents, doing some really cut rate prices and deals to be able to help them to get firearms that they need.
Very good.
Well, and they definitely have some good products, though. They have a brand new pump action AR, both in 5.56 and 308. That
we went ahead and jumped on that so that the guys that live up in the northern states and the communist part of our country, just kidding, guys, but the guys up there, they can't get particular guns and stuff for the design. He went ahead and jumped in up on it, because changing some of those laws that those big cities govern aren't going to happen. So he followed suit with the law so that the poor people that are stuck there, that are members of, that the Second Amendment and want the stuff to happen, he made guns for them to do it. He is a people person to go out there and make sure that the companies and stuff we have, are doing the right thing.
Well, they also have the that PDW stock, which is it is the nicest folding stock for an AR, and they have a couple of different versions. One they call the Airborne, which is a little bit longer, but then the PDW is basically about 3 inches shorter, and it's very, very, very very effective. It's really cool. And so that's the bread and butter right there.
Yeah, I mean, they got a lot to offer. Some other companies,
Maximum Defense
coming out. They're bringing one of their brand ambassadors with them, or both of them, I think.
Maximum Defense is coming out. Michael Wenset, he's working. I don't know if you guys remember the Tesla, the 9mm carbine AR that was one of the first ones that really worked good. He's looking at maybe purchasing that company and bringing those guys down with it. He has a lot of new parts and parties and stuff with that. And he's also working with Battle Site Tactical. And basically, that's a training group with two of my friends. I worked in Blackwater, and I work with Chris Pronto. Everybody calls him Tonto.
Right.
So me and Chris hasn't seen each other in a while. We've kept up after the Benghazi thing, but Chris is one of the guys in Benghazi. He was portrayed in the movie wearing shorts, which is what Chris does,
Being a wild man.
So yeah. Chris will be here. And then you had the guy with the ponytail and stuff, Boone. Boone actually lives in Orlando. He came out yesterday, and we talked a little bit. They're doing a training class at the end of the event that Heather's going to be in with it.
Okay. Nice.
So they've made Big 3 East, the training center. We're 3 companies, really, that have separate had separate plans that what we're doing. But Big 3 East Training is actually
Bringing them all together.
Southeast. It's a Southeast training company for a battle site group, battle site training.
Yeah.
And along with Charlie Milton, he's coming out here and he's bringing his class. So we're opening this up into a world training stage.
Very nice, man. Good things happening here. You're not just an event place. You do training. You're actually training.
We do training. Our side of the training and stuff we do is 90% novice training that we do to be able to help the citizens around here. There's a lot of low income families and stuff, and I mean, just about anybody can go out and pay $279 for a Sky pistol and have the pistol.
Yeah.
The big thing after that you have the Sky pistol and you get it home is you put it inside your drawer, and that's where it stays at.
Yeah.
So you finally got the money for that, because if you want to go to a class for concealed carry, you're looking at $150, $75 if you go to a flea market or to a gun show where you shoot one round in a bucket after you watch a video for 45 minutes. So we don't do that. We do an actual training class, and it's free. Big 3 East Training Center does free training. We don't charge.
It's hard to beat free.
We don't charge you for the ammunition. We don't charge you for the guns. We have earplugs. We have eyeglasses. We have professional instructors that have been trained at Flexi, that have been trained at the State Department, that have been trained through these groups to be professional instructors, and that's what we do. And we do it free. We donate our time. Big 3 donates its.
Do you have scheduled classes that every day at this time you can come out, or do they need to get in touch with you?
Well, we have it set up. We have it set up on the website because we tailor the time that comes out. If the girl is a nurse and she works night shift and she's only off at Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon and she wants her daughter to go, we will have instructors here at Wednesday at 2:00 in the afternoon to teach that one lady and then her daughter a safety class. Mm-hmm. Or if it's 6 ladies that work on a restaurant and they want to come down and get in, we'll do the training for them.
You got a company that wants to send some of their employees,
if we have a company, if Burger King wants to come down and if they want to send their employees, we train them absolutely free. Doesn't matter who you are, what color, race, creed, gender, sexuality. The long short story is we do the training here because Big 3 East. I have been I've had some medical issues. I've been shot and I've been near death many times, and God's been good to me. And the fact that he's been good to me, I'm passing it back. And really the only talent I have is to be able to teach people gun safety and teach about these products. And so that's what I'm doing. We make no money out of it. I donate my time. Wolf Ammunition stepped on board and they donate the rounds. Glock stepped on board and donated guns at a substantial cheaper price for us to be able to have the training guns, so you don't pay for anything.
Yeah. So you're training with good quality weapons and ammo.
Yeah,
at the same time.
And so it's something that we're really working hard with it. You've got Bill Geisley, and he always sends down Joe or Diego or something else, and some of the products that Geisley is making is just unbelievable.
Right.
The triggers that I can't wait to see the new stuff that they have because they've always went in and got something new. They've got one of the best AK triggers on the market, and they've enhanced it. Mm-hmm. So I can't wait to get up to round, and
that's
range
be fun.
and pound some targets with it.
Check that. They always bring a whole slew of rifles with their triggers in them. So
they bring a slew of rifles. They bring a slew of triggers. They bring a slew of bolts, charging handles. For all the riders to be able to come up and grab something. If you're a rider and you come to Big 3. And your gun doesn't look like a Geisley poster when you left, then you didn't walk over to Geisley.
That was me. I don't get any of that because I'm stuck in this room the whole time. So I gotta send my minion out.
Did your minion get you stuff?
No, he didn't.
If he didn't,
he's over there asleep. Look at him.
If he did, I know a guy that has a bag of parts.
You know a guy?
I know a guy.
You know a guy? I'm sure you do.
Kind of a big deal around here.
But some new companies here for the first time. Modern Spartan Systems.
Martin Spartan Systems showed up. A great company. These guys make us, everybody talks their lubricant and it's going to do this and it's going to save gas and everything else. He came in a little bit early. He set some of the product down that we were already using it on the gun. And I'm telling you, as far as running, it's running like a sewing machine.
Yeah.
So the product that he has, as far as that lubricant and everything else,
it's good stuff.
It's
now,
good, it's good
our
stuff.
lead heads know that's one of our sponsors of the show. I've been using their engine oil additive, the TVT.
I didn't know he was on your subject.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's good stuff. System. Yeah, it's probably why that beast is still running.
That's why I'm getting ready to trip over 310,000 miles on our way back. And it's still running?
And it's still running. We're going to have to do
I
something
know
about getting another one.
he gave your guys some to put in your generators out here. And they instantly noticed, it quieted them down, and they were running better, smoother. You guys are changing those oils out on those things ever so often. They eat the oil up.
Yeah, you have to change oil and motors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, what are you shaking your head about? And I think one of them even put it in his truck, so he's going to start using it in his truck. So, Modern Spartan Systems was here.
Well, we had tactical walls here, which they set up. They have a tactical walls, built a little house with rooms and stuff, and they had
a little shoot house, indoor shoot house.
Yeah, they used UTM rounds to go up and do it, which they left on the floor. I'm going to sweep them up and mail them to them. They were supposed to clean up their mess, but the great stuff, great products. I mean, if I was a SWAT guy with the shit that's on the market now, I would not walk into a house or let anybody lean against anything. They're in Kleenex boxes, they're in couches, they're in coffee tables, they're in
mirrors,
mirrors, whiteboards, shelves.
Right.
The whole time you're walking, it's all awesome. It's all awesome stuff, and they're great guys to work with.
Yeah. Another company that was here, and this guy is actually in my hometown. You got Gearhead Works coming in with a
one of the things about Gearhead Works is everybody's coming up and they're looking at that brace design and everything else. And Gearworks said they've come up one that actually looked like it's a buttstock for a gun, but it's designed to go right on the back of any size buffer tube that you have coming out to go ahead and make it a brace where you don't have to spend the extra money for the brace and cut out on it. And they sent me a product ahead of time. I really like it. It's cool. It looks like it's durable.
Yeah.
It's inexpensive. And I'm going to throw it on the AR this afternoon and go out and pound some cars with it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's minimal. So it's adding, everybody's into lightweight now. So, it's keeping that build light for you as well.
Well, everybody's in the lightweight because ounces lead to pounds and pounds lead to pain. And if you've ever had to hump a rifle for pretty good ways, along with 110 rounds as your basic load, or 210 rounds as your basic load rather, plus the other stuff you got, and you're working with, the saw gunner, and you're helping carry the spare bottle and ammo and everything else, every ounce that you put on it. So the guys that you see hop out of their vehicles with the 203s and the flashlights and lasers and everything else, we like to call those guys special people, because those special people come into the country for like 3 months. They carry their rifle for like 100 foot, and then they fly off in a helicopter. The guys that are wading through the elephant grass and chasing people down to the Euphrates and kicking doors from side to side are mad because they have to have rails on their gun because all of the extra weight.
Exactly.
Ounces lead to pounds, pounds lead to pain. So everybody's going to the light side of the house because it makes sense. And on the training side of the house, some of the people that we see, we had a guy showed up in a black rifle class, which was a basic carbine class. His rifle was a Beowulf 50 cal.
That's not light.
It was in August.
Right.
A Beowulf 50 cal. He had so much kit on in his gear. He had so many adapters on his rifle that he was a heat casualty an hour in, and we had to evac him out.
Are you serious?
Beowulf 50 cal.
I hope you took a picture of him.
We got tons of picture of him,
Nice.
to prove that we didn't kill him.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, the guy, and people do that. They think the more stuff that they add on, they want an operator, Mm-hmm. And I've got to go back and ask that question. What is an operator? That's the chick that answers the phone, the guy that drives the truck. We get that all the time. I'm an operator. I'm operated as fuck. Yeah, you are.
You're a doctor?
Yeah, so it's
operator.
It's kind of crazy.
So we got a big lineup for this year's this segment, the fall segment of Big 3 East. Looking forward to it. What have you guys done with the range? I know. For one, I've got a whole new room. I got a whole new setup.
Well, actually,
got some air conditioning.
Actually, what we did was we started, as you know, when we canceled January's event because my son had a horrific motorcycle wreck. Was in a coma for, excess of 20 days. And then they had to put him back in a medical coma for about 45 days because of the injuries he had. Lady pulled out in front of him on his motorcycle. He did everything right. She was texting. He hit her in the side. It was her fault. Jeez. It was still a horrendous amount of money to hit on. So we had to cancel Big 3 because he was sick, and I had no money to do any improvements here because every dime that goes into Big 3 comes out of my actual pocket, and my wife will show you the bills.
Yeah. Well, how's he doing now?
You didn't leave the hospital for like, what, 2-3 weeks?
No, I stayed at the hospital every day that he was here. That he was there, and then when he got home, I slept on the floor next to his bed.
Yeah, and that went on for a long period of time. Because when I visited you in the hospital, you had not left his side in weeks.
Yeah, the nurses were coming in. They were coming in like they were like the room was. I said, is he quarantined? And they're like, no, you stink.
You just stink, boy.
So I had nurses offering to give me,
little sponge bath.
Well, what CJ is saying is that accident was so bad that everybody on the scene, the reason that he survived is that the 3 first responders were deemed qualified.
All law enforcement. It was such a miracle in the way that it happened. The ambulance crew, who's usually 10 miles away from the site, were buying sandwiches on the next block, and we're at the stoplight when he had the wreck.
Oh, wow.
The first cop that stopped on scene was a canine guy that just graduated an EMT course. Max's old girlfriend's dad, which teaches the EMT class at the college, was driving by and saw the wreck. So he had 4 for people that know what the Glasgow scale is. He was a 3 on the Glasgow scale when he was at site. They called homicide.
Oh, man.
They called homicide and marked that. And he died on site. They revived him, got him in the ambulance. And then by the time he got to the emergency room, which was about a 7-minute drive, he had coded again. So they saved him again in the ambulance and then finally got him up in the hospital. It was 48 hours that they worked on him before we could see him or something like that. But my wife absolutely losing her shit and me trying to keep my shit together.
Understandable, yeah.
Trying to keep my shit together to support her, but that's my boy. So finally got him up into the room and got to see him. And then, the poor kid was in a coma. I can show you pictures. It broke both hands, collapsed his lungs with his ribs broke on it. It broke his jaw in 3 places where the helmet come down and crushed his face. Broke both his hands, broke his pelvis, and had some internal stuff that was messed up too. And 3 vertebrae in his neck,
oh my gosh.
1 in his lower back, ripped his nerve in his shoulder. So he's weak. And he had to have a trach because he was in oxygen so long. So even when he came home from the hospital, he had a hole in his throat that was still waiting to cover up. So he's got a pretty bad scar on his neck and his chest and his arms, and he's still weak from trying to work through everything that he did.
Sure, I'm sure rehab's going to go on for years.
Yep, he was out here yesterday, but he's doing good, and luckily, no brain damage. It didn't make him any better at math, but it didn't make him any worse. So he doesn't have any brain damage, so he's doing really well.
That's a miracle in itself. Yeah.
So it's great that he's that way. I stayed with him. That's everything. When you have something to a child or a loved one like that, your world stops. So I pretty much stopped everything I was doing, working as a consultant for Wolf, and we had a couple big gigs we had to do that I basically told him I wasn't going to do it, and Wolf said, absolutely, we don't expect you to do it. They kept giving my paycheck. I stayed there and took care of my son, and he's healthy and getting back where he needs to be at. So there was no Big 3 in March, so there was no improvement to go up in it. And then we had this show season we had to do for NRA, and he was already out of the hospital and stuff. So I went back on the show season to do that. Of course, we hung out at NRA for a little while. And then right after NRA, I went, and then, I have cancer. So some of the stress and stuff that I had with that, and then I picked up a bug and got the flu. And then when I went to the hospital for the flu, it turned into C. diff. When they were doing that, I caught that. So I had a bad C. diff infection. So I laid in the hospital a long time for that. Laid through the hurricane that came through.
Man, you've had one hell of a year.
This has been it's been a rough one. But the crew that works out here, Jake, my range ops guy, came out and started working on stuff. So this building that you have here is actually a training building that we built for the instructors to come and stay in. It's not finished yet. It's got it's 1,800.
It's a work in progress, man. It's coming along nicely.
Well, it'll be 1,800 square foot when it's done. We got the gas stove set up in it. We got the refrigerator set up. We got the 2-ton AC kicking.
That was the key.
We got we got the TV set up with internet. We got We got our nice patio doors hidden behind our range doors, so when it shuts up, it looks like a regular building.
Yeah.
We're bringing in a pool table. We have a bar we're getting ready to put down there so the instructors can live at night.
Gotta have a bar.
Got a huge bathroom downstairs with a 60-foot, or 60-inch shower stall. We got a half bath upstairs with windows that still look around, and we'll have 3 beds up there. So 3 instructors will be able to come and sleep upstairs. We got the leather couch, so when they bring in their guys that want to live like soldiers do for the training, we've got a Quonset hut out back that we're building as, one of the regular Alaskan tents that the soldiers live in. So we're going to set that up for a training base so they can have their students, they can do their classes like Charlie Melton. He wants to do his overnight classes. His students can stay here. We've got a deuce and a half and a LMT, or not an LMT, but a cut V coming for vehicles for them to use on the range. We've already purchased those. We have a separate not a bathhouse, but we have a separate restroom. It's totally off grid, but it has a flushing toilet. It has water, to go up in it indoors, and it's built nice. We built it separate away from a little bit, but it's set mobile so we can move it. So we got away from the whole porta-john thing. So in the hot summertime, you don't have to walk in and smell somebody's blue dookie. So we've got it set up with good ventilation up there. I think, Heather, did you use it? What did you?
Yeah, very woman approved.
So it's, we got a little man and a little woman on the door, and we got one just for the men that I had Jake do it, and Jake's like 6'2" or something. So, me.
You got one with a woman with a dress with a dinghy hanging down?
Well, we have a funnel. We have a funnel set up there, and it's
turned upside down.
Sort of multiple use. And, but Jake is so tall, he set it up, so we had to put a concrete block in it so I could reach it, rather than trying to pull and hang.
A booster seat?
I had a booster seat to put. You'll have to get one too. I mean, it's up there. I was like, holy cow, Jake. It's like to my belly button. So we got a restroom facility set up, and we got our deck for a chow. One of the big things that we're going to do that we want to put out to the riders is we're going to pay the travel for the riders to come here. You produce for us. We're going to pay your travel.
Nice.
We're going to put you up in a hotel. One of the things that are behind that a little bit are that we've been thinking about doing that we're probably going to do for the next event is going to pay our riders like $100 a day while they're here too.
Oh, wow.
So they're going to get travel,
Very
and their
nice.
travel is going to consist of, like if you're driving from Nashville.
Now, how's that gone over so far?
Everybody seems to like it. I mean, we're not going to pay them this time because naturally I had to put $2,000 3 days in the road before we had this event because we had this
I would rather you take that money and put it into the roads. Yeah, definitely.
Well, they're going to bring in the hard soil for it, beat it back down, and then we're going to gravel that entire road up here.
It
then,
needs it, yeah.
And then in front of your pimp palace we have here,
The Lead Quarters Pimp Palace.
the Lead
Love
Quarters Pimp Palace, Lefty's place.
it. Yeah.
Well, we're going to put Lefty on the door.
No, you're not.
We're going to call this place Lefty's.
No, you're not.
It's going to happen.
Lefty's.
Andre,
Sir.
we're going to name this place Lefty's.
You're going to name it Lefty's? I'm honored.
Lefty's.
So-
I'm honored.
So we're going to name this place Lefty's, and out in front of it where people
No, you're not.
out in front of it where people been parking the grass,
Right.
we're going to go ahead and make that into a large gravel parking lot so we can put the cars there.
Perfect.
The range is so bad in the back. I tell everybody I've got this badass Jeep with a Curry front in it, and it's a Dana 44 Curry custom built,
Oh, yeah.
Yukon axles, a 700R or a 480 LE
Yeah.
Chevrolet, engine in it for a big truck and a 4BT Cummins and everything else.
Oh,
And
yeah.
how badass my Jeep is. I took it back there and buried it past the hood, and it's still there
Is it still there?
in the middle of the
That's
range.
our ride out of here. You got to go get that thing unstuck.
It's stuck in the middle of the range, and people are trying to shoot targets.
Oh, is it on the range?
Yeah.
Holy shit.
So it's stuck out there next to some trucks we're going to blow up. And I had Heather with me showing her how great my vehicle was running over cars. And the next thing you know, she's hitting her head on the roof and having to step out. My Jeep has it's about 24, 30 inches off the ground to the step bar. And she has to step up to get out of it.
Little four-wheeling adventures.
buried
in
that
addition to
much.
shooting.
So I buried it. But we had a lot of great companies here. We got a
I don't know if I want you doing my lift kit or not.
Ron does the lift kit.
I got you.
And my lift kit's still on. It's just under mud.
It's just sonk.
Yeah, it went down to the 18 inches to the bottom of the hard pan.
No.
So anyway, we've got a lot of good companies that are going to be here. We have a lot of good writers that are here. We have Gun World here. Their editor's here. He come in, stopped in to see what it's like. We have a lot of companies, that write for a lot of famous magazines that are freelance here.
Mm-hmm.
So the writers are coming up. They're very perceptive to the company. So there's going to be a lot of stuff out. One of the things that I have to add for this, a company that has stepped up time and time again, is USA Chemical.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they make it.
Binary company.
They make the binary company. They come down and they bring thousands of pounds of this stuff. Not only to us, they bring it down and they give it to law enforcement for them to be able to do training with it. And it's great because when we have our regular classes, you know, we're doing our long range stuff. We would use that to see if the guys were doing the long range hits.
Yeah.
You know, and it works really great, especially now that bow season's out. You know, so we can blow one up next to a Bambi eating some grass and watch him run across the field as the guy in the tower with his bow is screaming at you.
He's cussing you for scaring it off?
Yeah, we don't really, we wouldn't do that. But
Sure you would.
But it's, we have the binary to go ahead and do it. And it's nice when the classes and stuff come out and we can show them a little bit and, you know, blow up a half a pound.
Yeah, it's just an experience. You know, just add something to the.
So they're one of the good companies to come down. One of the other companies, you know, RX Glass Company. These
RX
guys,
Tactical.
RX Tactical. They make not only do they make ballistic glass, but their glass is rated so you can get it made to whatever your eyesight problem is. If you're 20/20
you can get prescriptions, yeah.
Yeah,
prescription
that's the word. That's
iPro.
the fancy word I was looking for. So if you need them for the training and stuff and glasses, those guys can.
Good old Brett Hunter, yeah.
So he's a good guy with that, and they're just giving them away.
Yeah.
You walk up and say, "This is what it is," and they see what they don't have on hand. If they don't, they
I've still got mine from a year and a half ago.
I got mine from hour and a half ago when they
From
showed
an hour and a half ago.
when they showed up because I wear cheap glasses like Yums, and I've got a pair of Yums I got at Walmart.
Yums.
I got at Walmart 4 years ago for $3.
Boom.
You can't lose them. You can't break them. It doesn't matter.
That's the thing. You buy a $300 pair of sunglasses, you're going to lose them the next day.
Gone.
You buy a $3 pair from Walmart, you'll keep those sons of bitches forever.
He gave me 2 pair last year. He gave me 2 pair. One of the ones that are open frame on the bottom and another box frame that worked absolutely great. I set them on the fender of the Jeep and backed over them.
Oh, shit.
The last day when we left. And I will tell you, they won't hold a 9,000-pound Jeep.
No doubt.
They'll stop a bullet, but those frames won't hold a Jeep.
Well, the nice thing about what he does, he's developed a way he can go ahead and put a prescription all the way around the curvature of the glasses instead of just a flat plate in front and you can't see anything out the side. Mm-hmm. You're able to go ahead and get the prescription all the way around the curve of glasses, which up until now has not been able to be done. So, yeah, it's really innovative. He's not just another company. It's one that actually has done something different.
Actually, to go back to the medical stuff, as I was laying in the hospital and I have TPI, where I'd received SPA and stuff over there, I laid in my back so long dealing with the C. diff. And I don't recommend, I'm telling you, if you want to go on a weight program, you go find you a hospital where somebody's sick and lick the toilet. Hey, I'm telling you, in
you lose some weight that way, huh?
24 days, I lost 50 pounds.
Boom.
Bam. My organs
Take that, Jenny Craig.
Well, my organs, I laid on my back so long to do it that I had the damage from the SPA where I took the RPG close to my head and exploded on top of the vehicle. So SPA is lots of little fragments of metal or big pieces of metal, and they usually work their way out like on my hand, these little red spots.
Mm-hmm.
That's where SPA works up, and it looks like a little blackhead, and you scratch it, and it's a little piece of metal that come out, and your body pushes it out. So I have some floating around in my head and actually attached itself behind my eye on the optical nerve.
Oh.
That is I still have the pain in it now, and they said it's the equivalent of somebody drilling into your tooth nerve. And I disagree because
this is your eye.
It's in your eye. I disagree because I would rather have them digging in my nerve than in the back of my eye.
Oh
Took 26 MRIs for them to find
this is on top of everything else. You have had one hell of a year, dude.
So I spent 10 days in a hospital on fentanyl.
You need to go to church, son.
Well, I just had to talk about a guy last night.
Oh my
gosh. But it was a horrific year. I got out of the hospital last Friday. And when I came out of the hospital from that, I was on a skid steer that afternoon working on the road.
Just like that.
Mm-hmm. So Monday of this week, I had $2,000 or 4 trucks of 27 tons of asphalt millings put on that road out there because it was worse than it is now.
Oh my gosh, I can't imagine.
We rode. You drove down it when it's dry.
Yeah, it's solid when it's dry.
It's solid, and I had no idea what happened. We packed it with an excavator.
I didn't think the rain would have done what it did to it.
Well, we had this thing looking like a palace out here. But the improvements.
Yeah.
Mark LaRue's bringing actual reactive targets that are going to be here. I talked to LaRue when he first got here. We walked through the range, and Mark is actually going to build a pavilion type of LaRue pavilion for the sniper range. So he's committed.
So what kind of reactive targets does he have? Talk about those.
He has reactive targets that they're electronic, and when you shoot them, they fall.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like a fall target, but since they have a battery pack to them and stuff, they raise back up.
Get them back up.
Yeah. Good solid steel targets. You know, he doesn't recommend them to be submarines, so you don't put them in the water. You know, and it's
electronic, so yeah.
It's different from the action targets, because the action targets are relying on technology. They're great targets. They're relying on technology, and they both had their place. LaRue's a great thing if you're going to set the targets up and, you know, shoot them on your pistol range, or if you're going to shoot them on your rifle range and hold competitions to see who can knock them down the fastest, because they fall quick when they hit.
Yeah.
So that's good for that. And then action targets with their little computer screen is good for your precision shooter to shoot the distance to see how that is. So
very cool.
Different companies.
So we got a good lineup. Got a good lineup this year.
Well, Shoot Still, you know, Shoot Still put 144 still targets out here, and they weren't able to make it. But they're another one of the companies that do the support out here for targets. And we have a lot of good companies that do that. Action Targets sends us our ISI targets or our qualification targets and stuff. So there's a lot of companies that step in the industry. They don't do it for free. Their targets are here. They get advertisement and stuff on it.
Sure.
But they're still putting the effort to come out here. We're really going to be good if we don't get any rain. But if we get rain tomorrow.
So is there maybe thoughts about having a different time of year? Maybe a little bit later on in the year?
We're going to shift it. We've talked to the companies and stuff like that, and we're going to shift it completely out of October.
Might become a winter edition, maybe?
We're definitely going to move the fall edition, because we have to move it to get out of this weather.
Yeah.
It's
the weather and all the hubbub that happens.
Well, we're thinking about moving to, maybe left a little deeper into the fall, maybe into winter. And that's because the other companies like, Action Targets are in Utah. And other than skiing, it's a good time to go to Florida, in the middle of December, where we're having our bone chilling 71 degrees days, and they're
right.
They're
now,
at
if you move
whatever.
that one, would you move the summer one?
We won't move the March one because there's too many problems to try to move March.
Yeah.
Everything affects.
But are they going to be too close together at that point?
No, I don't think so, because if we move it to the December part, and somebody has stuff that they want to put out at SHOT Show, that's going to, in the winter part, that's going to give us enough time for the articles to get wrote, for the videos and stuff to get done. So just before SHOT Show, when Julie from Troy gives me a call and says, "Hey, you guys can drop your product, that we can have a big media blitz just before SHOT Show."
Mm-hmm.
And we can finish up, we can do follow-up interviews and stuff at SHOT Show, in the booth with these companies. So that's not going to hurt us.
Okay. But I know you guys can work it out. You got a good team that you're working with. And
we got a good team we're working with. We're looking at doing one in Kansas, just in the middle out there around in June. And it'll still be Big 3, but it'll be Big 3. It won't be Big 3 East. We'll have some of the same faces and stuff.
Well, that's West, isn't it?
No, that's
Kansas.
It's the geographical center of the United States.
Kansas?
Kansas.
Yes.
Chapman, Kansas actually is
the geographical center of the United States.
Right.
Really?
If you wanted to hit center mass, you would hit Chapman.
Now you factoring in Hawaii and Alaska when you're trying to do the geographical center, or just the continental?
I think the 48 states.
I figured that. Yeah.
You're just
facetious. I'm just pulling your leg. Come on now. I like the fun. So speaking of fun, we're going to have fun this week with all the companies that are here, all the riders. Going to be a lot of fun.
A big blast.
A big pun intended.
That's right.
But I plan on doing a lot of interviews with these people. Hopefully, we'll get everybody in. People I can't get in, we're going to try to get them via Skype or Google Hangouts another time, or we'll get them at the next Big 3 event. I'm sure we'll have some repeats on a lot of these people. Definitely.
Absolutely.
And Heather, it's great having you on, even though you didn't say anything.
Well, just letting CJ let it rip there.
Big 3 is focused on bringing new products, testing the products, putting them on the range here. We've put a substantial amount of money in the range to make it more comfortable for a training range for people to come in. We have big training companies that are coming in here. We're going to make sure the riders get it. Pioneer is coming in, and due to the fact that Pioneer's coming in and we've got a pretty good budget, we're actually going to be picking some of our great writers that are doing products and stuff for us, not just the big three writers, but the freelancers that are coming in from the other companies. And we're going to actually send them as rewards over to Poland to get the armorer's class for it from our factory.
Very nice.
So we're going to be doing that. Glock is going to be giving away guns at the end of it. Palmetto State will probably be giving away guns at the end of it. So we're going to be taking care of the writers that way. It's going to be a little closer together at the end of the year. So we're going to make sure we do a little stipend or per diem to take care of these writers while they're coming down here, because it's going to be closer together. We're improving the event. We're getting away with the briefings and the large building that we do, and we're going to make that actually into an exhibit hall.
Oh, cool.
So we have other buildings set up for that. We're going to change our restroom system to try to make it a little bit better, and maybe put some showers out here, because we're going to have to do it for the training side of the house. We're going to have military vehicles for them to take pictures from. We're going to have drone footage out here. A lot of these writers.
You going to get a helicopter?
I actually have a contact that has R-44s and Hueys that will actually fly out.
That would be awesome.
He actually will fly out. He would actually fly people from the flea market and land you out here, so you could ride to the range on a helicopter and skip the road altogether. So we actually
fast dropout.
We have all that stuff set up for it to happen. We are going to support the Second Amendment and do everything we can. You know, one of the things that I pride myself at Big Three is, even though we know we lost money this year, we still donated over $2,500 in medical kits to the EOD team for the SWAT team.
It's awesome.
You know, they have budget cuts that they have to do. They're working with ill-equipped packs, and we're able to, take some money and put it inside there and be able to help. And we continue to do that. And we're working with companies like Troy, Palmetto State, and IWI, who had a conflict and couldn't be here. They're one of our companies. We're working with those companies to fill out these SWAT teams with the gear and stuff that they need, because of the budget cuts are killing them. And in particular, some of the SWAT rifles that they were bringing out to the range the other day look like Franken guns.
Oh, gosh.
So we're here to support the community. We're here to support the writers. We would like to make some money to be able to put back in here to make this a better facility. And I think one of the reasons that the companies like coming back to this facility is because they see where their money went.
Mm-hmm.
We started off, with a couple of green boxes in Kansas underneath trees, and then we moved to some pop-ups, and we had some stuff here, and I had a 2.5-foot dirt pile we shot in around the water, and now it's this facility.
And how many years ago was that?
We started this 10 years ago.
10 years ago.
And Andre Dall'au and
Dall'au.
Andre Dall'au. Andre Dall'au.
Smack you.
Denied. Andre denied.
Andre Dall'au and
me and Ed Flanders here.
and that will be her name, Ned Flanders.
Oh, please stop.
So long story short,
That's your nickname.
the David Fortier, myself, and Andre come with this plan to do it, and it was originally set up as Big Three, the Big Three writers. Andre was doing all the stuff on handguns. David was doing all the stuff on rifles, and I was doing all the stuff in tactics.
Okay.
But it finally wound up that it got changed to where we do gear training and guns. So that's what it is.
That's the Big Three now.
So that's what the Big Three stands for. And the Big Three East, the difference between the two is we were doing one in the West, and we started doing it in the East, so we didn't need a different name, so we just called it the East. So that's why we have Big Three East, and that's why we have Big Three.
There you go.
But one of the things we want to do also on the website is we're going to start something that CJ's hearing this for the first time.
Okay.
We're want to go ahead and get something called CJ's List, kind of like Angie's List.
Okay.
CJ's List for companies, gear, equipment, training that all has a brand of approval from CJ.
Okay. So if you're looking for Ear Pro, you're looking for Eye Pro, you're looking for ammo, you're looking for whatever it may be.
Go to the website.
Go to CJ's List.
Go to CJ's List and take a look at that and say, oh, this is what he recommends. What
so you're
kind
seriously
of guns
doing that?
Yeah, we're
heading my leg?
No, we're heading in that direction. It's going to be in development.
I think you should call it Heather's List.
Yeah, well, that'd be great. That'd be great. She's a lot prettier than I am.
We're not gonna have a. That's funny. We're not gonna have that. What we are going to have on the website is Ask the Cop.
Ask a Cop?
Ask a Cop. So we're going to have it on there where you can send in a question to Ask the Cop, and we're not going to have it so it's an open forum so you can go and really kill a cop or anything else. You'll be able to send it in an email form.
Yeah.
He'll be able to pick which question that he wants the answer, and then he'll put his response in there for answering to that. So, I mean, we've taken up a lot of your time here. We got a lot of stuff that we're going to talk this week. So I think we should shut it down. The big thing that everybody knows is Big Three's alive and kicking.
And it's going to continue.
Better than ever.
We've got a lot of rain that's coming in tomorrow. I hope the road holds up. If not, we'll be my fancy.
I think we've already blown the fact that we're already at the end of the show. So,
Yeah.
you know, we don't have to keep
Anyway, some of the stuff that you can expect from March is you can expect a covered pavilion with Keurig's. Mark LaRue wants Keurig's there too. With
Keurig's.
with Keurig reactive target sets up. He wants that built there. He's going to pay for it. We're going to have action targets on the range set out there. You're going to see in the near future live interviews that we're doing in video where Heather and Andre are going to go up to Massachusetts with Troy. So you're going to see all that stuff coming up in the different videos. We've got some writers that are getting some awards for stuff they did. We got writers we're sending to Poland. Pioneers doing that. And one of the big things for you is that you've got one, if not two companies that are going to come in. You know, we've talked about this in the past. And I just wanted to say, hey, I want to do an AK corner with you. I want Pioneer's Arms to come up and maybe do two.
I think we could probably make that happen because that's something I've been wanting to do for a while now.
Maybe do 2 shows a month. We'll talk.
That sounds good.
I don't want the show just to be about my AKs. I want it to be.
So it'll be a
AK
segment that we have during our regular show. You know, it'll be like 15 to 20 to 30 minute, whatever.
Right.
You know, but it's going to be educational.
It's educational. We're going to
because I want to learn more about the AK platform, the history, and all the variants that go along with the AK.
We're going to bring those. We're going to bring those people in to do that, and we have a very famous guy that we're going to bring in. He's going to be on the radio show. If we can't get him into March, maybe we can get him into the fall one next year.
Okay.
He's a very
exciting,
famous guy in Russia that we're going to try to get his visa and bring him over here. We're going to learn some ideals from him, and we're going to let him come up and talk, let everybody to see, you know, what a hero of the battle is.
Well, we know it's not Mikhail Kalashnikov.
Well, he's
dead.
Well, he'll be all right if you rub him in Cosmoline.
Cosmoline, I think he is. I think that's what they buried him in.
Well, then he's good. He's good because once you wipe the Cosmoline off, it'll run. I don't care what it is. So, yeah, I mean, we got good stuff going on.
Well, cool. That's exciting.
Pioneer
good news there, Leadheads. AK Corner is going to get kicked off.
Not only that, when you got an event, and at your event you have Glock, you have Palmetto State, who is undoubtedly the heavy hitter with their marketing and everything they're doing. Jameis has had a huge business plan on that's working great.
Oh, yeah.
You've got not only Eagle Imports and Versa, but you have the owner of Eagle Imports coming here, not just a rep.
The big Goomba himself, Mike Sodini.
And then you have Dyson USA, which is one of the largest manufacturers in the world. And then you have, Pioneer USA decided to announce that they're in the booth, and they have the 2 largest factories in Poland for making arms, and now they have their U.S. side of it. So you have a lot of big companies that come here. You have
a lot of big stuff happening here, and you hear it first here. Good. So what our Leadheads can do is, as this stuff's being released, people are going to tag it in their social, the writers and the bloggers and the people. It's going to be hashtag Big 3 East Media, hashtag Big 3 East Training Center.
And I want to right now to let the writers know, if you've got some good quality stuff out there and you're interested in going to Big 3, you go to our Big 3 Facebook page, Big 3 East Training Center, and you put out that you're writers. We'll check your credentials and stuff. Because we want you to be here.
All right.
So we want the writers to be here, and also the writers that couldn't make it and everything else. Pioneer USA has some really nice guns that are coming in, and we want to get it in the writers' hands.
Okay, so if you're interested in getting a T&E or something like that,
absolutely, go to our website. You have our information for our office manager, which she'll make sure she gets that sent out. It's Palmer. We'll get you the gun sent out, whether it's one of our fancy 7.62 by 25s, and we'll get some ammo sent out with it.
Nice.
Or if it's one of our hell pups that we're bringing in. We want you guys to shoot them, tell you what that you think about them, and get some articles out on it. But we got some good products coming in, and we're going to push them and go out there with. We support the writers and we support the companies, and this whole business was started off to form to help poor writers be able to get product. And now we're able to help writers to the point where they're able to get product right after it. And it looks like maybe if I don't have to spend too much money to set up for March, that we're actually going to pay the writers to be here. So
that's good news.
So they're going to get travel, they're going to get paid, they're going to get a place to stay, and then they're going to be able to make money off the other articles. It's good news for you, but man, I'm going to have a battle with a wife over this one. I'm telling you, I might be.
I bet this was her idea, wasn't it?
I bet when Big 3 comes around next time and you come to set up in the lefties, I'll be on the couch.
You think so?
Just me and the dog.
You'll be living at Lefty's.
I'll be living at Lefty's because it's going to be a problem to make it happen because she's an accountant.
Lefty's Bar. Very nice. Well, guys, it's going to be a great event. I'm looking forward to it, as always. And we're going to be bringing you guys lots of great interviews and footage and coverage from the Big 3 East. And as always, lead heads, keep your loved ones close.
And your firearms closer, as well as your FLEOA membership current.
Boom. I like that. TalkingLead.com.